It's a classic General Hospital twist, the kind that leaves jaws dropped, fans shouting at their TVs, and the Quartermaines in yet another round of chaos over who truly owns the family mansion. In a shocking turn of events, Martin Gray's carefully orchestrated plan has crumbled right before his eyes, thanks to Tracy Quartermaine's relentless determination and a shocking revelation from Monica's real will. What started as a quiet scheme to secure the Quartermaine estate has turned into an explosive showdown, and Tracy, ever the queen of cunning, has come out on top. Martin's scheme unravels. Martin Gray had always been the smooth talker of Port Charles, a lawyer with charm, strategy, and just the right amount of slyness. But when he teamed up with Ronnie, yes, the same Ronnie who's been making enemies faster than friends lately, he may have bitten off more than he could chew. Their plan seemed airtight at first. When word spread that Monica Quartermaines will had a missing section, Martin saw an opportunity. If they could control the version of the will that made it to probate, they could sway the ownership of the iconic Quartermaine mansion and the assets that came with it into new hands. With Monica presumed to have quietly left certain assets in trust for others, Martin assumed he could manipulate the situation to his advantage, perhaps even helping Ronnie come into some unexpected wealth. But in Port Charles, nothing stays buried for long, especially when Tracy Quartermaine is involved. Tracy's return and growing suspicion. Tracy Quartermaine knows when someone's been messing with her family's business. It's practically her sixth sense. Having recently returned to Port Charles to check in on the family, Tracy immediately sensed something was off. Martin's overly polite demeanor, Ronnie's evasive answers, and a strange lack of transparency surrounding Monica's estate documents all set off her alarm bells. Tracy's gut told her that someone was playing games with Monica's will, and when it comes to protecting her legacy, and that of the Quartermaines, she doesn't play nice. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Tracy began making calls, calling in favors from her old legal contacts, and doing what she does best, digging until she found the truth. And what she found left even her stunned. The real will emerges. While Martin and Ronnie believed they had the only copy of Monica's will that mattered, they hadn't accounted for one thing: Monica's foresight. Always one step ahead, Monica had filed a sealed copy of her real will with a trusted attorney outside of Port Charles, one who owed her a favor from decades ago. When Tracy caught wind of this possibility, she flew into action. After a few tense phone calls and a signature forged under urgent family necessity, Tracy managed to obtain the authentic document, Monica's true last will and testament. And when she opened it, the revelation was explosive. Monica had not left the Quartermaine mansion to any new benefactor or outside party. In fact, her real will confirmed that the house and its surrounding estate were to remain solely in Quartermaine hands, specifically nomming Tracy as the acting steward of the property should any disputes arise. That meant Martin and Ronnie's plans were officially dead in the water. The showdown, Tracy vs. Ronnie. It didn't take long for the confrontation to happen. When Tracy walked into the Quartermaine living room, documents in hand and eyes blazing, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Ronnie, ever confident, smirked as he greeted her, believing she had come to negotiate. But Tracy wasn't there to talk. With the precision of a woman who has spent her life in corporate and family wars alike, she laid Monica's real will on the table and demanded an explanation. "Funny thing about secrets," Tracy said coolly. "They have a way of crawling out from under the rug when the right woman starts sweeping." Ronnie tried to brush her off, but when Tracy handed over the notarized documents, complete with Monica's unmistakable signature and the legal verification stamps, the color drained from his face. Martin, for his part, tried to maintain his composure, arguing that the will must be a duplicate or a forgery. But Tracy, never one to back down, had already had the document verified by Diane Miller, who personally confirmed its authenticity. The look on Martin's face when Diane backed Tracy up was priceless. Tracy claims the mansion. When the dust settled, Tracy's triumph was absolute. Monica's will left no room for interpretation. The Quartermain mansion was to remain under Tracy's control until such time as a new family heir was designated. That meant that Martin and Ronnie were officially out, their attempts to manipulate the will now exposed as fraudulent. In a fiery twist of poetic justice, Tracy informed them both that she'd be contacting the authorities regarding their legal misconduct. Ronnie stormed out, humiliated, while Martin tried one last attempt at diplomacy. "Tracy, let's be adults about this," he pleaded. Tracy just smirked. "Martin, I was an adult before you were even licensed to practice law. Now, get off my property before I have the security staff escort you out." And with that, she did what Tracy does best. She reclaimed her throne. The fallout, Port Charles reacts. Word of the confrontation spread fast. The Quartermain household was abuzz with reactions. Brooklyn was ecstatic. End was both proud and exasperated by his mother's methods, and Olivia couldn't help but laugh at the chaos of it all. Even Michael, ever the diplomat, admitted that Tracy's fierce loyalty to the family name was impressive. Meanwhile, Martin found himself facing professional consequences. His involvement in the will manipulation scandal could spell disbarment if the full story reached the Port Charles legal board. As for Ronnie, he's gone to ground for now, licking his wounds and possibly plotting revenge. After all, no one crosses Tracy Quartermain and walks away quietly. What's next for Tracy and the Quartermains? Now that she holds the keys to the mansion once again, Tracy is wasting no time reasserting her authority. She's already talking about restoring the family's reputation, reorganizing ELQ, and getting rid of the dead weight. Her words, not ours. But fans know better than to assume things will stay quiet for long. With Martin nursing a bruised ego, Ronnie out for revenge, and the lingering question of who Monica might have meant by the next heir, Port Charles could be gearing up for another inheritance war. And if General Hospital history tells us anything, it's that when the Quartermains start fighting, no one escapes unscathed. A Quartermain legacy restored. For longtime fans, this storyline feels like a return to General Hospital's roots: family feuds, sharp wit, and high-stakes drama within the walls of the legendary mansion. Tracy's victory isn't just about property. It's about legacy, loyalty, and proving once again why she's one of the most formidable women in Port Charles history. Monica's final wish ensured the Quartermain name and spirit would live on. And though she's gone, her presence is still felt in every corner of that house. As Tracy stood on the balcony, looking out over the estate that's seen decades of heartbreak, laughter, and scheming, she whispered softly, "For you, Monica, always for you." The Quartermain mansion belongs to Tracy again, and Port Charles better be ready, because when Tracy's in charge, the drama never ends.